Hi guys, I am Holly with a Y, and I'm going to show you today really quickly how to do a 5-minute face. It is a real thing, it does exist, and today we're going to do it. So we're going to start with a little bit of hydrating primer, okay? Just because you're doing a 5-minute face doesn't mean that you need to skip steps, okay? So we're going to start by putting a little bit of hydrating primer all over our face. And the primer that you use is going to depend on your skin type. So if you need help with that, I'm your girl. I'm going to help you with that, okay? Then we're going to put on some concealer and foundation. And again, the type of foundation that you use is going to depend on your skin type. I'm your girl. I can help you with that too, okay? So we're going to start with a little bit of our concealer. This is the Younique Touch concealer, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. I don't like to put it directly on my face because I always get way too much product, and we don't need a lot of these products because they're really pigmented, and a little bit goes a long way. So I'm going to take this shadow brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just spread that around on the back of my hand, put it on the brush, and then I'm going to take that concealer and I'm going to put a little bit of it mostly in that inner corner of my eye where most of the darkness is, okay? Because that's what we want to cover up, all right? That's a very, 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 very thin layer. We don't need a whole lot. Then we're going to take a damp blending bud, and we're going to take that blending bud and we're going to dab that concealer, press it into that under eye area. Now, I'm not rubbing, I'm not smudging, I am just pressing it into that under eye area. And I'm being really careful not to drag it or pull it across my skin as well. And if you don't have a blending bud, seriously, in all seriousness, your finger will also work here too. Just make sure, again, that you're not dragging it across the skin. You're just pressing it, pressing it, pressing it into the skin. And that is going to get your concealer in place for you. All right. Now, today I'm going to do a full coverage look with a very lightweight formula. This is our stick foundation. Really, really easy to use, really easy to apply. I'm going to take it. I'm going to love myself. That's the first rule of putting on makeup. So I'm going to take and just draw a big old heart on my face. All right. That gets most of the product around the outside. And I'm going to put just a little bit down the center of my face. All right. Then we take our brush. We don't want to use our hand. You don't want this makeup to get all over your hands. And a brush is going to apply the smoothest, most flawless, even coverage. So we're going to buff, 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 and get that product buffed from the outside in. Buff, buff, buff. All right, so after we're done buffing this, we're going to set it really quickly with a little bit of setting powder. And when I say a little bit, again, I mean a little bit. A little bit. We're going to take some setting powder, which is a translucent powder. We are going to pat it onto a brush. And we're going to tap off the excess. And I mean, get rid of all the excess powder. And then we're going to press that into the skin. Just press, 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 just like we did with that concealer and the sponge. We just pressed, pressed, pressed. I'm not buffing this on my skin. I'm not spreading this or pulling my skin around. I'm just pressing into my skin. All right, our next step is to get a little bit of shape to our face, all right? We don't want it to be all one color. So we're gonna take a little bit of a dark powder, tap off the extra, and we're gonna contour right underneath our cheekbones, just to give the face a little bit of shape and definition. Make it look like we have some cheekbones. And then I always go across the top of my forehead, also just to give a little bit of definition. And I go down the sides of my nose, also just to give a little bit of definition. And then just kind of buff or blend that in so that you don't have any harsh lines. Then we're gonna take a little bit of blush. This is a beautiful mauve rose color blush. We're gonna swirl our brush, tap off the excess, and put a little dab on each cheek. Right at the apple of the cheek. Now with that same blush for a 5-minute face, We're gonna swirl it in that blush. We're gonna tap off the excess and we're gonna go ahead and use it for a little bit of eyeshadow. Now, if you have an extra, let's say 30 seconds, which we do today, so let's make it a 5-minute and 30-second face and give it a little extra pizzazz. We're gonna add a little bit of highlight. And what you can do with this highlight to make it really quick, put it on your finger, dab it on the top of your cheeks, down the center of your nose, and then I would take just a little bit and get it right here on your eyelid. And that's gonna give that eyeshadow just a little bit of pop, all right? Now where you put it on your cheek, you can just take your finger and kind of blend that in, and blend that in. And then we're gonna top it off with a little bit of mascara and lip gloss. So I'm gonna use our Epic Mascara. It is quick, easy, one step. Throw it on and forget about it. You can do one coat here and get dramatic results. Or if you have a little bit of extra time, you can go back and do a second coat, but we're just gonna do one quick coat. One quick coat. And then the very last thing to pull it all together is a little bit of lip gloss. Can't go wrong with a little bit of Nude Shimmer lip gloss. So we're gonna take this Lunar lip gloss and we're gonna get a nice shiny lip. And there you have it, 5-minute face. An extra minute for talking because that doesn't count, and you are out the door and you feel good and you look good and you love yourself a little bit more. Have a great day.